States vs. States of States. June 8, 2019 by Anna von Reitz. Why, you might ask yourselves, was it necessary for the fledgling government of this country to create multiple organizations of states? We have the Union, the United States, formed of republican states occupying the national soil jurisdiction of this country. We have the Federation, the United States of America, formed of sovereign states occupying the international jurisdiction of the land and sea. We have a Confederation of States, the States of America, formed of commercial corporations, occupying the global jurisdiction of the air. If you look at this list you will see the answer. Each of these different organizations, the United States of America, and the States of America, all serve in different capacities and occupy different jurisdictions. Their member states are different in nature, too. The national-level republican states and the international states of the Union are defined by physical borders, but the global states of states represented by the States of America Confederation are commercial corporations. So as you can see, each one of these organizations operate in profoundly different capacities and in different jurisdictions. A state is not the same as a state, and a state is not a state of state, confederate state. We rarely have a reason to differentiate between our states and our states, because soil and land jurisdictions work so closely together that the evidence of one is evidence of the other. General session laws of the state are supposed to reflect the will of the republican state and people, whereas state-of-state statutes are supposed to codify and regulate the operations of the territorial government and their corporate personnel on our shores. An important distinction needs to be made here and underlined in day glow orange highlighter. A state is corporate in that it is partially fictional by virtue of having a name, say, Wisconsin, but it is a freestanding entity that is physically defined, much as a man named Thomas Tinker is a freestanding entity that is physically defined. Neither Wisconsin nor Thomas Tinker is incorporated as part of some greater entity. In keeping with the law of kinds, a state like Wisconsin is operated by people like Thomas Tinker. A state of state, like the state of Wisconsin, may be incorporated, chartered, by the greater, freestanding entity, the state, which is what our original plan was when the Confederation of States was formed. Or, a state of state could also be chartered by a foreign government, and merely set in place as a service provider, which is in fact what has gone on here since the Civil War, when the British government secretively came in here and arbitrarily put a Scottish corporation in charge of our state of state administration, for us. States are sovereign entities, states of states, by definition, are not. Under the constitutional agreements, our states agreed not to operate directly as states of states, which is also part of the reason that we can be absolutely sure that none of our actual states were involved in the Civil War, which was a commercial mercenary fight among commercial corporations, states of states, which are also called Confederate states even though they are not actually states at all. Since World War II we have further compounded the confusion between states and states of states by allowing the deployment of municipal states of states on our shores. These incorporated franchises are totally foreign and are chartered by foreign governments in the business of providing essential government services. That is, the state of Washington is not chartered by nor operating under the auspices of Washington, the state. It is a franchise of the foreign municipal United States government and its infamous District of Columbia Municipal Corporation, DBA, the United States. So, we have our native states which are corporate, but not incorporated, which are sovereign freestanding entities with physically defined borders, and then, we have a plethora of foreign service organizations operating as territorial states of states and municipal states of states, none of which are actually chartered by our states. This is not the way our government is supposed to be organized or operated. What should happen in a sane world is that the state, such as Georgia, charters a state of state and incorporates it to conduct business for Georgia. The original states of state were put out of commission by the Civil War and never reconstructed, which has led to this situation wherein foreign territorial and municipal franchise organizations have been here on our soil conducting business for us and recklessly spending our money and credit as if we ever authorized them to do this. To solve this conundrum requires us to organize our actual states of the Union and to act in our capacity as the people of this country, and to finish the so-called Reconstruction that has been pending since the end of the Civil War. Put simply, the people of Georgia need to re-charter the state of Georgia to conduct business for them. We have been hampered from doing this necessary work by the foreign chartered government services organizations on our shores arbitrarily conferring citizenship obligations upon us. The British territorial states of states claim that we are United States citizens. The municipal states of states claim that we are citizens of the United States. It is up to us to thumb our noses at these patently false presumptions and tell our subcontractors and their employees that no, in fact, we are state citizens and nothing else, Virginians, Californians, Minnesotans and so on, for each of the 50 states of the Union. It is also up to us to act in our own best interests and explicitly return to the land and soil jurisdiction of our states, which is our natural home, and deny them any excuse for their insupportable presumptions.